Right. Hello, Jess Apparition, Chi-chan, and Void Dweller. Woo! Welcome back to Higanbana no Saku Yoru ni. It's good to be back. It always feels like, I don't know, I've said this a billion times in the past. It always feels like such a long time, even though it's only a day between the streams, between this time and last time. I don't know why. Oh, Void Dweller, that was so sweet of you. All right. It's so nice to have you, Chi-chan. Last time, we started the final story of First Night. And I know it's quite a long one, so we're probably not going to get to finish it in this stream. Maybe the next one. And it began with Higanbana doing quite an unforgivable act. And that she basically drove an innocent girl to suicide and so she could eat her soul, which kind of not good. And now Marie... Oh, you finished it, Chi-chan. All right. Which one are you going to do now? And now we're going to see how this affects the relationship between Marie and Higanbana. I wonder what she's going to do. My theory is that this might spur Marie into essentially her into being manipulated into going against Higanbana by whoever was plotting against her. And because Higanbana is the main one protecting Marie, right? Like from the other yokai. That's pretty much what she was doing from the beginning. Oh my god, Jess! Jess! Oh my god. Jess! You got it. Edelith forever. Edelith for fucking ever. Oh my god, Jess. That is my number one couple. I replayed like Crimson Flower like at least 3 times. Because I love Edelgard X Female Violet. Seriously. Oh my god. Anyway, back to Higanbana. Let's get back into the story. Please tell me, if the music is too soft or too loud. Because I forgot. It's so weird, like, because the load is usually on the main menu. And here, it's only after you press start. Whereas otherwise, in the other Ryukishi games, it's you start and load are 2 different things. Yeah, that's what I thought, Apparition, that I'll finish First Night, essentially, next stream. So that's cool. Alright, let's get back into it. Yeah, but Rabbit Boy was a serial killer, Jess. By the way, Jess, yes. A fellow Edelith lover. Woo! Hell yeah. Okay, I think this was Marie speaking. As long as you're alive, there'll be fun things to do. There's nothing like that in school. If you keep going, someday you'll graduate school, you know. Oh, Jess, I am a member of the Edelith server. The Edelith Discord. So, yep, I definitely know that. There's new fan art posted every single day. And I've also played the Edelith visual novel. Music is a bit loud? Yep. Okay, sorry. Alright, that. Thank you, Chi-chan. Yep, somebody made a fan-made Edelith visual novel, which is so adorable. It's quite short. It's like an hour long, but it's really adorable. Alright, let's get back to the story. Sorry. If you keep going, someday you'll graduate school, you know. Graduate. How many years should I wait here and being bullied until then? You see, I used to be bullied, so I really understand how you feel. This was unexpected. Because even a yokai who held amazing power had been bullied before. I thought, could it be? I wondered if she was bullied, chose to end her life, and then became a yokai? Wanting to be tied to become a yokai is useless! Zen Damida. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, her route is too damn short. Really. God, she needs her own DLC, but it's way past that time for something like that. 3 houses is over. Couldn't I have my revenge on those bullies with the power of becoming a yokai? With those words, she slapped my whole small hope away. I'm a yokai. I live in the night of this school. Does bullying happen in the school at night too? Yes! And it's crueler than it is in the day. Please, don't think that if you become a yokai, you won't be bullied any longer. Just how powerless dead souls are, and how cruel the brutality becomes. I don't think you can quite understand that while you're still alive. But by the time you find out for yourself, it's already too late. And especially, souls that choose to end their own lives are yokai's favorite food. I've already seen this firsthand. All these souls regret thinking they'd be better off dead. But then it's already too late. They're put through horrific tortures in the abyss for all eternity. It seems like I've heard about this before. I feel like doing special studies. When a Buddhist priest came for some reason, he talked about something like that. But he couldn't compare with the authenticity of yokai, who were talking about the exact same thing. Well, then what are you suggesting I do, yokai-san? The bullying in the world after death is even more painful. So you're saying for now I should stay here and keep being bullied like this. And until I graduate, during that long span of time, I should keep being bullied here like this? You have to fight back. Fight? I couldn't do something like that. And if I did something like that, I'll just invite more needless bullying upon myself. First, you should fight those whispers of wicked yokai, inviting you to free yourself through death. Well, I suppose. Then, try asking help for them from those around you. Try asking your parents and teachers. Once I'd neglected to do that, and I brought everything on myself. Ask for help from my parents, my teachers. Those words put a gash in my heart. It wasn't sadness. It was anger. I asked for help from my parents, from my teachers. And their response was always, ignore them. That is the biggest mood of all time right there. Oh my god. I feel you right there. I feel you right there. Oh, jeez. It made me feel, that advice made me feel for so many years. Like, it's affected me a lot, and it's almost impossible to get over the fact that it made me feel like that I was just a terrible person for still feeling the way I did, even though I was quote unquote ignoring it. It's like, the adults surely know what's best, so the problem must be with me. I'm probably just a piece of shit. That's not, like, for feeling the way I do. Like, just a shit person, just, you know, because that, like, that kind of advice just made me feel like total garbage for quite a long time. Anyway, back to the story. However, at some point I realized it. I wasn't the one who was ignoring others. Rather, it was my parents and my teachers who were ignoring me. Bullying is bullying because bullied kids speak up about it. Then, even if something is being done to those kids, if they hang their heads in silence, then it's no longer bullying. So the bullying stops. That didn't solve anything. They said since I'd react, everyone would find it funny and bully me even more. Even though I believed them when they said that. Even though I really, really, really tried. No matter how much time passed, it resolved nothing. It resolved nothing at all. In the end, no one could save me. Even though I asked my parents and teachers for help. No one could help me. No one! Marie only hung her head. This pitiful girl, Yukari Sakaki. She tried everything she was supposed to try. Oh my god, Void Dweller, you too? No way! They did that to me all the fucking time. Introverts for the win. Believing in the strict advice of ignoring the bullying, she has endured until today. And yet already, her heart was starting to come apart. And then, before long, her ears started to receive the sweet whispers of yokai, inviting her to kill herself. No, perhaps it was because she chose to hear them that she realized that she could escape if she were to die. Marie deeply, deeply sympathized with the girl. Yukari Sakaki once was a very average girl that one could find in any class. She wasn't particularly the target of any bullying. Unconsciously, she passed her days in peace as bland as a shade of gray. She was quite an average girl. The assault of sudden misfortunes on her began a year ago. Her mother passed away in a traffic accident. Hell yeah, Ji-chan. Hell the fuck yeah. That in itself deeply wounded her heart. But for her, the long period afterwards was painful. Her father, as far as she could tell, had lost his spirit. And although he was inefficient at it, he had struggled hard to support both the household and his work. The thing is, Ji-chan, we have to understand that our parents' generation came from a world where if you worked hard and if you did what you were told, then unequivocally you would at least have average success. They lived in a world that, aside from, unless you were a minority, then the world was fair to you. And you have to think that that's the perspective they're coming from, and that they can't possibly imagine that the world is different than it was in their time. Anyway, back to the story. Okay. And although he was inefficient at it, he had struggled hard to support both the household and his work. However, he was inexperienced in housework, and coexisting with his work that had been busy from the beginning started to break our father down more and more. It was always gloomy. And the inside of the house that had become filled with trash and newspapers scattered about had already lost the peace of a family. In the beginning, her father tried his best and helped with the laundry. Yukari also helped, seeing her father was suffering, but then the gloomy atmosphere started to eat at her, and gradually her willpower was snatched away. What can she do? So she started often wearing the same unwashed clothes. And they gradually started getting dirty. That was pointed out to her by her sharp-eyed classmates, but their words couldn't reach her worn-out ears. Then, one day, Yukari realized. She realized she was being called filthy and foul, and that people in the class were talking about her behind her back. After her mother's death, even her father gradually began to get back on his feet. Whatever horrific emotional scars we might have, time will gently mend them. With that, when Yukari Sakaki returned to her former world, at some point, she had become a target for the bullies in class. Hello, James! Welcome to the stream. Well, Higanbana is an emotional story, it brings these things out of everybody. And, sometimes it's good to get these things out, Knowing that much, Marie hung her head. And despite how well she knew Yukari, she had recommended Yukari ask her parents for help, and so she became speechless from her own insensitivity. Oh wow, this track reminds me of Umineko. In the beginning, Marie had thought Yukari was a weak-minded human who was choosing suicide as her simple escape. However, she had completely misunderstood. Since her painful experience with her mother's death, she had recovered and shown courage to return back to her former world. Even so, her own place in the world she had returned to had already disappeared. And yet, she put up with and endured the senseless bullying. She had asked her parents and her teachers and others for help, and she strictly adhered to and believed their irresponsible advice to just ignore it. In the end, she was reduced to cowering in this small bathroom stall, tasting her own tears. No, Void Dweller, I think it's just that the composer is the same, so... And, Umineko and Higanbana are both very emotional stories. So they're going to have a lot of similar things, like... Dai really loves these piano tracks that basically give you the feeling of a small hope in the darkness. How could you call her a weak-minded human who simply chose a suicide as an escape? Knowing that much, Marie believed it. Yukari, although she hadn't realized it yet, was truly a strong person. That unfortunate and senseless bullying. Those yokai whispers wishing to invite her death. They had crushed what little was left of her heart. If I ignore her like this, there is no way the other yokai will let this unfortunate, tasty-looking girl go. No, there is no way that Higanbana-san will overlook her. I have to save her. Yep, Jess and Jishan, yep, that's sympathy without empathy. Yep, pretty much. It's sympathy because not being sympathetic wouldn't project the right image. They don't actually care. They have to be seen caring, which is a big problem, in today's world, I think, as I stand on my soapbox. She already wanted to be saved by her father and her teachers. And since no one could save her, this time I have to save her. I understand. At a time like this when you can't be saved by anyone. Even so, if only there was someone who could save you. I understand that feeling more than anyone. Marie Moria decided. The 8th ranked of the school yokai. Meso-Meso Marie decided. She would save her. She decided she would save Yukari Sakaki from her torment. And I guess this is a random student here. Watch where you're going. An uproar of laughter follows afterwards. Yukari Sakaki decided to run away at the same time class had ended. Someone's gym bag knocked her in the back. Staggering from that, she bumped her head against the wall, and the girl showered her with those words of scorn. They were the ones always finding fault with Yukari. They were her bullies. The entire class bullied her, or perhaps they approved of it. Among them, there was the leader of a particularly persistent, ill-reputed gang. What? If you got something you want to say, then say it. That was clearly meant to provoke her. In response, no matter what she said, she would be ridiculed, or it would just rouse them to bully even more. We all do, Ji-chan. We all do. So Yukari bit her lip, endured the inner emotions, and cooled them. She couldn't even let her eyes meet theirs. In truth, she had to keep moving. If she were to stop here like this, just by turning around even halfway, she would lose that power of ignoring the bullies. I think one thing I learned in high school, the best way to get people to ignore you is to look past them. And you're right, Voidwella, she does. And that means, like, try if you can, if you're trying to ignore somebody and they're saying something to you and you want to ignore them, you try to look at the spot on the wall behind their head. Like, try to look at something behind their head. And I've found more often than not that usually gets people to ignore you. Or rather, leave you alone faster. If you try to look at the spot behind their head. By just moving your eyes, don't move your head, obviously. And so, without showing them any more of a reaction than that, she quickly left. At her back, snickers, haughty laughs, sarcastic laughs, sniggers, every sort of sneer was tossed at her. I hope YouTube doesn't misunderstand what I just said. I had to keep going. Oh, I had to keep going. Since I've reacted, everyone is amused. I'm glad I kept going after reacting. But how long do I have to keep doing this until I'm saved? I wonder. At that time for Yukari, naturally there was no answer. No, there was one. Oh, at that time for Yukari, naturally there was no answer. No, there was one. And if she had to think of it yesterday, the yokai told her. Oh, and if she had to think of it yesterday, the yokai told her. But now, Yukari couldn't think of it. Yukari's heart had turned to ice, and as she forced herself not to think of anything, she walks down the hallway. Not in a hurried pace, but as she always does. If they were to even see her running off from the classroom, they might have taken that as her showing them a reaction. When Yukari was gone, the classroom returned to the usual bustle during the break period. Mysteriously, that scene, when Yukari was no longer there, like an optical illusion. Like, okay, the commas here have been more and more really awkwardly placed. How do I even read this sentence? Like, mysteriously, that scene, like, the comma should be after mysteriously. And, like, I'll just start from, maybe that was supposed to be a period. No, it's not, because, god damn it. Okay, I'll just start from like an optical illusion. It seemed if the existence of bullying had disappeared entirely. It seemed like an entirely ordinary break. The only one still talking about Yukari was that group of bullies. They were having a friendly chat about how best to harass Yukari next time. Jesus Christ, get a fucking life. It was exactly like this. That bitch, she keeps fucking ignoring us. I am so gonna make her cry. She is seriously unbelievable. I'll piss her off? That'd be a freaking riot. She seems like the spazzing type. How about bringing a box cutter? I'd laugh! That would so make me laugh! I think she should cry. I'd get a real thrill out of seeing her cry. Crying? She has probably already been crying, I tell ya. She's totally a spaz, that girl. I want to see her cry too. Ozaki-kun, what do you think? Being asked that, the eyes of the bullies gather on a lone boy. Even though he was 2 grades above them, he passed for a particularly large physique. Oh God. The boy called Ozaki was their ringleader. He was the perpetrator who hurt Yukari with his gym bag.
Me? Either way is fine.
But his expression was the opposite of his words.
I don't mind if we cut her, or if we make her cry. I'm pissed off. That inconsiderate attitude she has, like, I'm not even bothered. Fucking pisses me off.
When he was speaking, like it was a pleasant topic, he grinned wide. To them, bullying Yukari Sakaki was a sport. In sports, it's not about the result, but it's about enjoying the spirit of the competition. To them, bullying Yukari Sakaki was no different. To them, driving a girl to cry or making them go into a frenzy. Whether those things go to plan or betray their expectations, either way is fine. The process itself was truly fun. Oh God. Can Higanbana eat them? Why can't Higanbana eat them? Seriously? That is something that they probably knew best. You know what? Maybe Marie can be the kind of yokai that eats the bullies. How about that? That is something they probably knew best. And bullying Yukari Sakaki was just that. To them it was a game. And because they appreciated it and laughed, even for the entire class, it was a game. She thinks she can just ignore us like that. She should cry because we want her to cry. We'll put an end to her smugness for sure. After all, that girl, her clothes, they're both dirty. Which means she stinks. Ugh, God. Since Yukari was wearing the same clothes for some time, it was true they had gotten dirty. However, that was only temporary. After she recovered from the sadness of losing her mother, she hasn't repeated the same offense since then even once. but because people were saying Yukari Sakaki's dirty clothes were dirty and smelly. No matter what clothes she tried to wear, or fragrance she tried, it didn't matter. That damn Ryukishi just knows so... He gets it. He really fucking gets it. How bullies are and how, like, seriously. Like, seriously. Like, really. The assessment she faced had become exactly that. It's not what's true, it's what they want to believe that makes them the happiest. That applies to a lot of things. But hey, Ozaki-kun, don't you think we'll be in... But hey, Ozaki-kun, don't you think we'll be in deep shit if we take it too far and she writes a will or something?
No, of course not.
For real?
Well, I mean, come on. Even during that time with that one girl, she didn't write a will, did she?
The bullied kids all met each other's eyes. Ah, they said, as they put on expressions like they'd remembered, and gestured with a clap of their hands. It was just like they had forgotten what they ate for dinner last night, and their reaction showed that moment of finally remembering it. That's how they treated it. Exactly, Jess. I'll read out what you just said. Like, even though a lot of the characters are quite exaggerated and larger than life, they also feel believable at the same time somehow. And that's pretty much when they cry, and Ryukishi's works in a nutshell. Like, characters are both exaggerated, like, paradoxically exaggerated and believable at the same time. You're right, that did happen. It did. I mean, I'd completely forgotten.
She didn't kill herself. It just looked like an accident.
Just a simple old accident. She just slipped right off the roof. One of those awful accidents. Jesus Christ. The teacher even said there was no evidence of her being bullied, right?
That's right. That wasn't bullying at all.
As officially recognized by the teacher.
That's why. There's no way Sakaki's gonna off herself. Even if she dies, it'll just be an accident. There's no way she'll write a will.
Oh, I guess you're right. I mean, who the hell is bullying Sakaki anyway? We aren't bullying her, right?
Of course we aren't.
We're so affectionate and loving. The leader Ozaki was mumbling something in slang that only they could understand. And it was a big success. So laughter spread throughout the class. They didn't know what he had said, but it wasn't hard to imagine it was something insulting Yukari Sakaki. This kind of behavior mostly more takes place online than in real life with people like this. But I guess maybe it did in the past. But yeah, this is pretty much cyberbullying to a T, except IRL, like what they're doing, what they're discussing there, basically. That's pretty much the exact. That's pretty much the exact modus operandi of frickin' of cyberbullying right there. Marie was watching the exchange in the shadows of the classroom. Her eyes fixed on Ozaki, who was repeating those words ridiculing Yukari. Twilight after school. Most of the students had already gone home, and the ones who had been playing in the courtyard were scrambling to be the first to finish with cleaning duty. It was that sort of evening. I really hope Marie does something. Can Marie eat them, please? Oh, I am happy that you're watching, Void Dweller. Oh, that is sweet, James. That is sweet. Hold on, I just need to... It's getting a bit hot. I just need to tie my hair up. Tiny bit hot. There we go. Twilight after school. Most of the students had already gone home, and the ones who had been playing in the courtyard were scrambling to be the first to finish with cleaning duty. It was that sort of evening. While smacking his lips, Ozaki once again passed under the school gate. His parents were both working and wouldn't be home until late. So it was his daily routine to drop in at a friend's house without going straight home. After that, he'd go back home and wait for his parents while watching TV. As he thought about that on his way home, he noticed he didn't have his key. Oh my god, is he gonna have a yokai encounter?
But I'm sure I had it. Maybe I dropped it at school. I shouldn't have... Ugh.
Hell yeah. Marie, eat him up! Eat him! Going home to an empty house and fishing out his key from his pocket in front of the door would have been normal for Ozaki. But today he was suddenly incapable of such a routine task. He kept smacking his lips over and over again at this small and unexpected misfortune. His key wasn't at his friend's house he'd stopped by at. He retraced his steps for the entire day. And the last place he arrived was at the school gates. There were a lot of periods of just one day at school. After finally being able to leave, having to go through the school gates again. With that thought, he had a terrible feeling. Almost like being the only one in the family to draw a terrible luck fortune at a shrine. The campus was dark as far as he could see. It was a world called school that they supposedly spent half their lives. A place they'd attend for several years. A place that even just by looking at it would make them fed up. School. But still, when swallowed by the twilight, the school building and the entrance looked like a scene he had never seen before. Oh my god, Chi-chan! Oh my god! Ah, now he had become self-aware. Everything he knew about the school he'd already become bored of. was in the daylight. Half of the day was in the light of the sun. The other half was in the dark as the night. Stretching inside the darkness, the large entranceway had a gaping emptiness to it. It looked like a gargantuan creature's mouth that would crush and devour a human being. And so, Ozaki reluctantly passed through the crevices of its gums into the hatchway.
Was my key with me when I was at the shoe rack? Shit, I can't remember.
He looked all around the front of the shoe rack, but couldn't find anything that looked like a key. Even after looking under the matting in the rack, he couldn't see his key. Somebody might have taken it, I would think. That's what I would think if I was him.
If it's not here.
Oh, if it's not here, he'd have to take off his shoes and slip into his indoor slippers. As far as Ozaki was concerned, doing that was more unpleasant than having to go back to the school gates again after already going home once. He had put on the same slippers just as he had during the daylight hours. However, he did not expect that they would be so cold, damp, and this heavy after nightfall. The gloomy hallway of the school building was so long that he felt as though it continued on for all eternity. In the darkness, a one-eyed monster glared at him with his red eye, shining with displeasure. In the day, it was just a fire alarm he wouldn't even think twice about. The school of the night and the school of the day were very different. Different places, even different dimensions. It was about this time that he recalled the numerous ghost stories about the school at night. The story of a past principal who would kidnap kids, spiriting them away. Oh wow, I wonder if that's, the #1 ranked yokai, considering he looked like an old man. It said that one of the paintings of the past principals decorating the principal's office would glare and its eyes would shine in the night. Speaking of which, there was a story about the infirmary, too.
That's right. I just remembered. The course of the dancing Western doll.
An out-of-place Western doll had been set on top of the medicine shelves in the infirmary.
If I remember right, they said, every night it was taught to dance. I wonder if I'll hear some strange sound come from that pitch-black infirmary.
Ozaki thought as he quickly passed the infirmary and dashed up the stairs. Once he had started running, there was no stopping him. He held his breath, and like a bolt of lightning, he shot off until he reached his classroom. And flying into the classroom, he flipped the light switch. The fluorescent lamps made dry buzzing sounds and flickered with blinding light. In the brilliantly illuminated classroom, even though no one was there, to his amazement it was the same classroom that he knew well. As for demons ready to devour a foolish child who mistook day for night and attended their school, there wasn't anything like that lying in wait for him. Ozaki started to calm down when he saw such a normal sight. Since he had come from the school entrance to the classroom, he finally realized how much he was sweating and how erratic his breathing had become.
Way to lose your cool, Ozaki. The hell are you so afraid of?
By provoking and shaming his own cowardice, he persuaded himself that wasn't who he was. Calming himself, he remembered he had to find his key and get back home. He would probably get yelled at by a teacher if he was found in class at a time like this. It was stupid of him to lose his key. Not only that, he came to class at this time of night. Worse yet, if he were getting caught and scolded for it, it would be too shameful and he wouldn't even be able to stand it. Sorry guys, I really gotta go for a bathroom break. I will be back ASAP. Hold on. Bye. Sorry, I will be right back. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Alright. Let's see. I'm back. Okay, I really want this guy to get eaten by freaking Marie. Like, Marie says she doesn't want to eat people, to stay alive. I think this is a great compromise. She can eat the really shitty people like this. I think that would be a great way, and she could also increase her power level that way. Everybody wins. So yeah, let's hope Marie becomes a really strong yokai. And I really hope this is all about. I think it would also be a good place to end the first night on. Marie's first soul reaping or whatever. Soul reaping, I said. Now let's see. Not only that, he came to class. And this time, no, I already read that, yes. Gradually, as he started to feel himself return to his daylight self, he began to search for his key. Marie is pure, yes, but, she has her limits. But he couldn't find it. In and around his desk. He even checked in other desks, but he couldn't find it. His parents would probably be home soon, and they probably wouldn't let him leave him outside forever. However, if he lost his key, his parents would be upset with him.
My parents would always come back wearing exhaustion on their faces, and aside from asking, "Did you finish your homework? Are you ready for the Mora?" they would say nothing else. We don't talk much. I don't even remember the last time we had a real conversation.
Hell yeah, G-chan. Itadakimasu! Woo! Even
so, after that, not having talked to him in so long, talking about something like losing the house key. Oh boy. Mom would immediately start shouting and crying. Dad would see that and immediately stop beating me. Shit. This sucks. Seriously, where'd you go, Key?
The fear Ozaki had from being at school at night changed to impatience. And then when the key refused to show itself, it finally changed into anger. However, regardless of his emotions, without any emotion, his key still couldn't be found anywhere.
I guess I'll honestly ask if anyone has left any lost articles over at the staff room. If we still can't find it, it might be all over.
Ozaki thought, slowly leaving the classroom. Here we go! And it's the bathroom, too! Oh, yeah! In his eyes, he saw a light coming from the boys' restroom.
The bathroom, huh? I've been in there so many times today. Don't tell me, did I drop my key in the bathroom?
If he had dropped the key in the bathroom, no one would have picked it up. If they put their hands on a key like that, they would get germs, and everyone would make fun of them saying, "Get away from me," or something. Because of that, even if someone drops their keys, everyone will look and then pretend they didn't see it. So it's possible it's still in there on the floor even now. Oh my god, apparition. I gotta read that. They would also call Ozaki by the name of Stink Key. If no one picked it up, it wouldn't be in the lost and found.
I guess I'll give it a shot.
He didn't normally have the habit of talking to himself. However, in this school of darkness, if he didn't at least talk to himself, the silence would become far too chilling. Here we go, the bathroom! This is Marie's domain. Slowly, he peeked into the boys' restroom. On the floor, there was no silver color, indicating his key was there. Even though he thought it was impossible, he still looked in each of the urinals. Of course he is, Chi-chan. Also, welcome Marcy to the stream. Now, Apparition is my age, Chi-chan. We're old. We're the olds together. Oh, I think Marie's domain is all bathrooms. If it was in some place like that, that would be the worst. Oh, goddammit, that's his narration.
My precious key would have been soaking in the urinals all day. Ugh. And would reek of piss. And no matter how much I'd wash it, there's no way I'd get that smell out.
He really would be stinky.
And if I walked around with that foul key, there's no telling how many cheers I'd get from tomorrow onwards. That would be the worst. If I was in one of these, that would be the absolute worst. I don't want to find it here.
So after checking all of the urinals and confirming that none of them had his key in them, Ozaki felt a slight relief. Suddenly, he was laughed at. With a... he was laughed at. Oh, damn. Come on, Marie. Directly behind him, some monster was laughing with a at his relief. Ozaki choked and stood frozen, his eyes open wide, and from all the pores on his skin, a foul-smelling sweat suddenly started to gush out. Seeing his figure from behind as he did so, once again, the monster laughed with a This time he understood. It wasn't a laugh. It was a door. Behind him, a large bathroom stall door made an unpleasant screeching sound. Oh! Oh no, that's him.
Don't fuck with me! You can't scare me!
He said strongly, but his words were shaking. And all that did was remind him once again just how scared he was. Hold on just 1 second. There's something... Oh, sorry, there was something crackling. Ah, jeez. But it stopped, so that's good. Even so, that moment of pleasure, when the power of all his fears drained away, was indescribably comforting. While bathing in that comfort, Ozaki's eyes locked onto a silver gleam. What? It was the key. This is very familiar. This is very familiar. You guys see any resemblances of this from anything? This is very familiar. I think Marie might be getting her first kill here. There was no mistake. It was the key he had long been searching for. Exactly, Ji-chan. Inside the stall by itself. It had seemed almost as if it was hidden there by a demon in a game of hide and seek. And so there it laid. He had no memory of going in here. Then why was his key in a place like this? Perhaps someone saw it, said yuck, disgusting, and then kicked it into this stall. Higanbana, if Marie said fuck, Higanbana would be like, I'm so proud of my little girl. That was a plausible guess. He was lucky that at least no one knew that dirty key belonged to him. He thought to immediately pick it up and head home. Give it a good scrubbing in some water. Thoroughly. But in any case, he was glad he found it. At that moment, he was glad that he came back all the way to school. Oh yeah! That second, the world turned pitch black. It seemed as if even time itself had stopped. And as he leaned with his arm, extended to pick up the key. For some time he was stopped as if frozen in time. Gradually, feeling the beating of his own heart, he realized that time hadn't stopped. Someone had turned it off. Suddenly, something had turned off the lights. Damn! Marie! Becoming an expert in spookology. Perhaps a teacher on patrol saw it and turned it off. No, he didn't sense anything like that, and he didn't even hear the sound of footsteps. Well, then how did the lights go out like that? Rather, from the beginning, until he arrived at the classroom after climbing the stairs. The hallways, everything and anything was complete darkness. He took relief from turning on the lights after reaching the classroom in that darkness. In other words, until he got into the classroom, there was no light or anything of the sort. Then why, after leaving the classroom and heading to the boys' bathroom, was there a light on? If the light's on, then someone should have been using the restroom. But there wasn't anyone in here, and he didn't sense someone forgot to turn off the light. In this school ruled by the silent darkness of the night, echoes of footsteps would echo sharply. Even in the short time he was in the classroom, he should have heard those sounds reach him. That means, with no sign of anyone, the lights had suddenly turned on. And, with no sign of anyone, suddenly, the boys' restroom lights had been turned off.
Back off. Stop it. Stop joking.
Ozaki wanted to say. But with his lips quivering, he couldn't even say those words. His heart continued to tremble with its throbs, almost like it was going to burst out of his chest. His heart beat faster and faster. With a dry, buzzing sound, a blinking beam shined on him slightly. Oh, wow. Only a single fluorescent ceiling lamp in the boys' bathroom gave off its dim light. However, it continued blinking ominously. Just when he thought it was lit, it would go off, and then with a dry sound, it would light back on again. Marie has brushed up on her horror movies. She is creating the atmosphere for a good old-fashioned spookin'. Just when he'd think it was lit, it would go off, and with a dry sound, it would light back on again. Rather than relaxing with the lighting, that repetition stirred unease at what lay beyond. That fluorescent light was outside the stall. Because for Ozaki, who was shut up in the bathroom stall like this, he was made to realize that he was distinctly shut up inside 4 sharp corners of darkness.
Huh? When did the stall door close? I found the key, went inside, and suddenly things went dark. Where's the key? I panicked and turned around, and the key wasn't there. Sure, it's dark and hard to see, but the key is gone from where I saw it just now. Well, maybe what I thought I saw a second ago was an optical illusion? Can something that stupid even happen? More importantly, where am I?
Oh, yes, teleported! There was no mistake that this was the inside of a bathroom stall. But it's different. Oh, goddamn.
This place isn't the stall I just went in. This isn't the same bathroom stall at all. The urinal, the toilet paper dispenser, the color of the walls were dirty, the fixtures, the angles, and where am I?
At that moment, his ears sensed something for the first time. A sigh that couldn't be a sound. A sound so small it shouldn't reach his ears. The sound of chafing clothing. Now he clearly heard that sound that was so slight it couldn't even be called a sound. The object of that sensation, strangely enough, it was there. Right there. It was right there, but he couldn't see it. Because it was shut out behind that single door. He and the presence that had suddenly appeared were facing one another. with a single thin door between them.
It's my imagination. I'll just get out of here,
he thought, and then the moment he moved to put his hand on the door, this time he heard a real sigh, and his entire body stiffened with a start. Even stranger, that presence on the other side of the door was sobbing and crying with a Meso-Meso. Hell yeah!
Who? Why did you just come here to cry? The other stall's in the bathroom, right? So why are you crying in front of my stall? Go away. Stop crying. Who are you? Damn it!
Meso-Meso. Meso-Meso. Without a doubt, those were the cries of a girl. It wasn't male. Those cries are feminine. Even though this is supposed to be the boys' bathroom. That crying of Meso-Meso began freezing the blood in his legs one by one. From his legs, he felt rows of ice stand upon his skin, and by the time they reached his head, it made him remember what he did not want to remember. Meso-Meso, Meso-Meso, you there. Please listen to my pitiful story.
Ah! It's a lie. A lie, a lie, a lie, a lie. Story of Meso-Meso Town is a lie, right? A lie, right? A lie, right? It's a lie, a lie, a lie.
The inside of his throat swelled up, and a suffocating sensation welled up inside him. The inside of his head began to whirl in circles, and it seemed like his eyes were going to roll back in his head. Oh yeah.
What a joke this is. What a joke. A joke, a joke. They're laughing, I'm panicking, they're laughing, laughing, laughing. Oh, this is bad, this is bad.
Meso-Meso. Meso-Meso. You there. Please listen to my pitiful story. That girl's sad voice repeated once again. This time clearly. Steadily. Hello, Chi. Welcome to the stream. It wasn't ambiguous like something that could only be heard inside his head. It mingled with his heart's palpitations and the dry flickering sound of the blinking fluorescent light. It was a voice he felt distinctly and directly in his eardrums. Ozaki was just about to let loose a groan in reply to that voice. Just before he does, he remembers and firmly swallows it and holds off. The newly born eighth mystery. Meso-Meso song. That's Meso-Meso Marie to you, bitch! The new tale of a yokai who appears in the old school bathrooms.
You have to be shitting me. This place, it can't be the old school building, right? So there's no way it showed up here.
He didn't let the scream escape his mouth. Rather like a goldfish searching for air in agony, he could only continue to open and close his mouth with a flap flap. It seemed like Meso-Meso-san was the vengeful spirit of a girl. Who was killed in the old school bathrooms. It appears when people come into the bathroom it was killed in, and it seems to ask people to hear about the time it was killed. And there are rules. When Meso-Meso says to please listen to his pitiful story, I mustn't respond.
And I can't try seeing what it looks like. Until Meso-Meso leaves. Without speaking a word, I have to grit and bear it. If I break those rules, I'll be killed. The only thing weak about it is his voice.
Its true form, monstrous.
So it'll embrace me with its tremendous rotten tree trunk-like arms. Crush every bone in my body, killing me. Ah! Ah!
Azaki covers both his ear and mouth with his hands. Already unable to control it with his own willpower, his right hand covers his mouth to stifle his scream. And with his left hand, he covered his left ear, as if to stop Meso-Meso-san's cries from entering. Then his right ear was open. Even so, he covered it by sticking his ear up against the inside wall. Despite even that, he couldn't deny Meso-Meso-san's voice from permeating his ears. Ozaki-kun.
My name! Ah!
Meso-Meso-san clearly.
Meso-Meso clearly just called my name. He knows who I am. He could see me. He knows I'm in here. I'm. Ah! Ah!
Why do you pick on girls, Ozaki-kun?
What do you mean pick on? What are you talking about?
Yukari Sakaki-chan. You've been bullying her for a long time, haven't you?
How does it know about that? My punishment is at hand. This is my punishment. I should have just left it alone with a practical joke. Oh!
Damn it, is it hard to scream in that voice? The bullying. Would you stop it already? Without thinking, Ozaki had blurted out something that seemed like an answer. Panicked at that, he swallowed. But with the voice he seemingly blurt out, the light from the only fluorescent lamp, breaking with a pop, went out entirely.
Huh? What? What is it? What is it this time?
as if it were grating or perhaps warping. A small sound began spreading throughout the entire bathroom. It was the grating sound of doors, windows, fixtures, tiles, faucets, and mirrors. It was quiet. Quiet and overpowering.
I was in the darkness, but I couldn't even see my own fingertips. On the other side of the single door, I didn't have this door.
But on the other side of this single door, if I didn't have this door, that overpowering creature would surely be within grabbing distance, directly in front of my eyes.
It's quiet. Those chilling and frightening sounds it's making. It's overpowering.
Even in this darkness, he understood what was happening. Even though he couldn't see anything, rather on the contrary.
Even though it was only ever slightly, he had answered Meso-Meso's question.
Meso-Meso. That girl. He could tell she was changing into something. Fearsome, terrifying, and grotesque. Even though all he had to go on was a strange noise and a presence. In that darkness, he could clearly tell what was happening. The evidence. Well, it was no longer a frail voice. If you bully again, there won't be a next time. While spurting out tears, drool, and snot, despite everything, he held back a scream. While holding his mouth in earshot, Ozaki shook his head over and over. With all his incomprehensible fluids dripped and leaked, he shook and buzzed his head over and over. In the stall of the old school building's lavatory, in that darkness, both of Ozaki's eyes were open. While covering his ears and mouth, he bowed his head indifferently. With sweat and tears, the snot and drool popping and dribbling, as if striking his head against a wall. He would continue nodding his head for all eternity. Noticing the old school building's entryway was open, a patrolling teacher took a look around just in case, only to find him in that state. Oh, god damn it, she didn't get to eat him. Why would he go into a place like that? At that time, in the darkness, all alone? The teacher was not able to find an answer he was satisfied with to that question. in the first place. He couldn't even satisfactorily explain why he would come back to school after school was over. After all, the house key that he kept repeating was gone. Was right in his pocket the whole time. Ah ha ha ha! The teacher also knew the story of Meso-Meso-san. If other students heard about this, they wouldn't spread rumors and the uproar would surely get out of hand. And if this awful clamor reached the vice principal's ears, it would become a troublesome fuss about who was responsible for it. That was why the teacher let Ozaki go without asking any questions. I don't know what you saw here tonight, but you must make sure you never record. Oh, God damn it.
I don't know what you saw here tonight, but you must make absolutely sure that you never reveal it.
He instructed. Ozaki staggered, and with the gate like he still might fall over now, he crossed the schoolyard and exited the school grounds. Staring intently at his back were non-human eyes. Excuse me, there is this annoying sound going on in the kitchen. I need to see what it is. I'm sorry, this is just distracting the fuck out of me. Hopefully it stopped. Okay. Alright. Here we go. Staring intently at his back with non-human eyes. Hey, Higanbana! Higanbana-san. How long have you been there? The whole time. Since the very start of your hunt. I'm so proud of you. Higanbana giggled as she sat on top of the roof's fence, letting that long, beautiful, cold air flow. Marie stared. She was seeing off Ozaki's retreating figure through the school gates just over the fence. It'd be nice if you would stop bullying Yukari-chan, but it's fine. After all, the school's 8th ranking yokai, Meso-Meso-san, bit half of his soul off as a warning. Oh! I didn't even know you could do that. Damn! Right, Marie. I didn't even know you could do that. You could eat part of people's souls. Oh. As you can see, it looks like he'll stop. Starting tomorrow, I doubt that willpower to bully anyone will ever return to him. She laughed. Jeez. I only gave him a warning to say I bit off his soul. Marie, okay, yeah, this is a sign that Marie is a lot stronger than she thinks she is as a yokai. Ooh, after you've been latched on so far that you left teeth marks of that extent? Marie's hunting at such grace and is considerably lovely. My God. And you're only a beginner. You have quite a talent, Marie. Ooh, I'm jealous. Although it's a bit boring. Marie didn't still quite understand what it was the yokai referred to as a hunt. However, with this, all she could do was hope that the yokai's bullying would lessen, if even by a little bit. Nevertheless, Higanbana was still keeping her eye on Yukari. Marie calmed down just a bit. As though she had read her thoughts just long ago, Higanbana giggled, then nimbly jumped off the fence. She really is a delicious-looking girl. That Yukari Sakaki girl. Higanbana-san! What? Could you please stop hunting Yukari-chan? Huh? You want I, the dancing Higanbana, to turn over my prey? Higanbana spoke without turning around. Marie did not turn around either, and started speaking from in front of the fence. It's not that I'm ordering you to hand her over or anything. Then you're asking me as a friend? No, that's not quite right. Then what do you mean, sweetheart? Yukari-chan, she isn't quite the right prey for you. Huh? Higanbana slowly turned around. Her expression was inhuman, merciless, like a frigid doll. Those eyes were more frosty and sharp than an icicle. No, they were not the eyes of something alive. Buried into her sockets were the eyes of a doll. A strong gust blew by and rustled her long hair, intensifying that ominous expression even more. Then those lips parted in a perfect arc, like a smiling crescent moon only just appearing. How lovely, Marie. You're not only just my friend, you've also managed to become a nuisance. I don't want to be a nuisance. I'm only saying that Yukari-chan is not suitable as prey for you. After all, didn't you say that you prefer to prey on fragile souls who seem like they choose their own death? And you're saying that girl isn't? Yes. Yukari-chan is truly a strong girl. She managed to recover even from the sadness of losing her mother. True, she's being bullied and her heart seems to be crushed. But that is only for now. She will definitely take back her joy and stand strong again. Well then, I'll have to whisper of death to her and prepare like a delicacy before she starts standing strong again. Higanbana-san! I won't let you do that. I, Meso-Meso Marie, will protect that girl. Oh, God. Oh, my God, Marie, you're such a laugh riot. Higanbana, who had always laughed so elegantly, finally could not withstand it and howled with laughter. Can you protect her? Is there any way? Yes! If Ozaki can stop bullying her, I believe his friends will do the same. Oh, Marie, you truly are entertaining. Well then, I'll let you show me for a while. This is good. I need to get some popcorn. Show me what Meso-Meso Marie is capable of. With a turn, her skirt billowing in the wind, Higanbana disappears. There's much more, Chi-chan. It's very long. I'm not gonna get to finish it tonight, that's for sure. Ozaki was already far into the dark of the night. Rather, he had disappeared into the lights outside of the school. Marie was alone in the darkness of the school at night. She was praying that Yukari's fate tomorrow would be changed, even a little bit, for the better. However... Uh-oh... I think Marie is gonna snap. I think this might end with a fight between Marie and Higanbana. It really seems like we're heading for a confrontation, a kind of reckoning between the two at the very least. Is what it seems. She would understand the next day what Higanbana was laughing about. Oh! Okay. Ozaki changed into an absent-minded child and did not bully Yukari again. However, the other bullies had not changed at all. Ozaki not feeling so odd, so let's leave him alone. So today let's just play around with Sakaki ourselves. So in the end, the bullying Yukari experienced did not change at all. Well, she just has to do all of them then. I wanted to believe that just by removing Ozaki, I could save Yukari. But there's no way that could save her. When Ozaki's violence stopped today, it only benefited the other bullies. Oof. So in the end, what Marie had done was like putting a band-aid on a cancer patient. No, it was as if the night before never happened. Lunch break. Ozaki, as if he had lost his spirit, rested his head on the desk. And across from him, excited from having written graffiti on Hikaru's desk, was the usual group of bullies. Really, it's that long, apparition. Damn. Ozaki had kept his promise to Meso-Meso-san. Just as he promised in the old school building bathroom, he no longer bullied Yukari Sakaki. That being said, he didn't say he would stop everyone else from bullying her. Since she hadn't remembered to press him on that, Marie felt a little guilty. But even if Ozaki had said that, the bullying against Yukari probably wouldn't end that easily. That's probably wishful thinking. Yukari Sakaki's abuse is amusing to all of them. It wasn't as if Ozaki was happy that his followers were following in his footsteps. That's probably wishful thinking. Yukari Sakaki's abuse is amusing to all of them. It wasn't as if Ozaki was happy that his followers were following in his footsteps. Ozaki was the only one not included in the... I think this is the narrator. Ozaki was the only one not included in the fun. In that classroom atmosphere, he watched as she was bullied. It was as if nothing had changed. Now that I think about it, bullying has always been like that. People don't simply become bullies. The environment is where bullies are made. So taking away one bully made in that environment doesn't solve the problem. If I think back, even the abuse I received when I was human was like that too. With just the death of Kanamori-sensei, I thought I'd be saved. Even if you were gone as before, I'd still have been bullied by the boys in class. Well, at least you wouldn't be continuously violated. The naive thought that becoming a yokai and getting my revenge on my teacher would be my salvation was something I now understood all the clearer. Higanbana-san probably knew that. She'll probably know exactly how bullying worked. That's why the fact that I believed that by warning just one bully, Ozaki would solve everything. That's why the fact I believed that by warning just one bully, Ozaki would solve everything was no doubt comical to her. I couldn't see her. She's probably in the shadows somewhere, watching me overcome with surprise like this and giggling. Before long, after finishing their scribbling on Yukari's seat, the ring of bullies dispersed. Their number for the time being was 4 people. I wonder if I should call each of those 4 people one after the other to school at night. That's what I was thinking. And grant them a warning as Meso-Meso-san in the same way I did to Ozaki. It's probably pointless. Those 4 might withdraw from their positions. But even if they did, other bullies would rise up and take over the roles. Besides, offering a warning as Meso-Meso-san to form more humans after Ozaki. That was no easy feat. This was in accordance to Marie's circumstances as a yokai. Yokai like Marie and Higanbana don't have an inexhaustible supply of power. Oh, this is interesting. Some lore here. Essentially, when yokai place their forms in the other world, they have to exhaust that power when intervening with that world's affairs. Higanbana said that is Yoryoku. Means exactly as its characters are written. If one is a strong yokai like Higanbana, it's natural that they wear a large amount of Yoryoku. Okay, so Yoryoku is our Nen, our spirit energy, our chakra. Yeah. A meager yokai like Marie, naturally, has a small amount of Yoryoku. Interfering with humans requires a great deal of Yoryoku. And in addition, it changes with how big the degree of interference is. If it is only a small thing, like making someone listen to your whisper in a daydream, that takes only a small amount of Yoryoku. However, if you're thinking of showing yourself and making someone see your fearsome power of a yokai, it requires a large amount of Yoryoku. When Marie appeared before Ozaki in order to give him a warning, she spent most of what little Yoryoku she had to do it. There are many ways to regain that spiritual energy. Hey NGH, welcome to the stream! Such as entrusting one's body to the waxing and waning of the moon, or hunting and feasting upon the soul of a human. In the case of Marie, who refuses to hunt, the only way to replenish her Yoryoku is to give it time. If she gave a warning to the 4 bullies, she probably wouldn't even be able to show herself again. And she already knew that warning the 4 bullies alone would not save Yukari. Marie hung her head while biting her lower lip. Her powerlessness was mortifying. But that wasn't going to save anyone. Even so, she was a yokai. I'm the one who can save her. I absolutely have to save Yukari-chan. I have to. I absolutely have to save Yukari-chan. I have to. But how? That I don't know. I don't know, but I can't give up. If I give up, who will save Yukari-chan? Yukari went back to her classroom. She noticed the scribblings on her desk, and for a moment her expression dimmed. But then she behaved like she hadn't noticed anything and took her seat. The bullies, in reaction to her non-reaction, were gritting and clicking their tongues. But I knew. I knew how many tears she was swallowing underneath that blank expression of hers. After amusing themselves, the police eventually left the classroom. I followed after them. I just can't stand by and watch Yukari suffer like this. But even as I watched over her, all I could do was sympathize. If I'm to protect her from that formless concept known as bullying, then I've got to get a better understanding about it. So I took an interest in the bullies. By observing them, I might be able to learn something. You know what? This would make a really good video game. Seriously. Like, imagine gathering the clues and, like, you know, like investigating the people and then, like, being in charge of, like, the haunted house and doing things like, you know, to scare them and, like, to take part of their souls and stuff like that to help people out. I think that would make a really good video game. Like a reverse horror game. From that day on, their shadows were thickened and slightly clouded with a chill. Marie understood that this was what it meant to stalk, to haunt. Jeez. Rarely, students with strong supernatural senses would occasionally feel a slight unease about them. But no one saw Marie. And so she continued her investigation of Yukari's bullying. I'm noticing in this last chapter the grammar isn't as good as it was in previous chapters. Of Yukari's bullying from over the shoulders of the bullies themselves. How are you doing, Marie? Well, have you found a way to save that girl? Higanbana-san. everyone spreading rumors about Meso-Meso stalking some pathetic victims, looking for her next prey. Although I'm interfering with your hunt, I figured to make sure you were doing it right. I just came to tease you. Higanbana had known from the start. She knew that just warning the leader of the bullies wouldn't stop their torment. Moreover, if she thought that Marie would despair, she patiently would wait for the other bullies to come along and surround her. It was Marie who had the despairing experience of being tormented in life, who died and once again faced against the problem of bullying, and how she would stand up to against this task. That was what Higanbana was interested in. You know what people often say, right? The bullies usually deserve it. But I don't think that applies to Yukari-chan. Is that a fact? Yes. After all, she's doing her best to keep from being bullied. Yukari is trying her hardest. In order not to entertain the bullies more, she has stuck to ignoring everything they do. Once it was pointed out to her that her clothes were smelly and dirty, she realized why they started bullying her. And now she pays special attention to her hygiene. She thought that just by bringing an end to that, there would be no more reasons to bully her. However, she already had the label of bullied girl and it stuck to her. And thus, even though there is no connection to her present self, her torture persists. It's not like you said. Yukari-chan doesn't deserve it, Higanbana-san. Then what do you think? I think the problem's on the bully side. So, something like if you don't sympathize with them, you don't understand their pain. Over all these many decades since the beginning, I've heard that countless times. No, it's not like that. In a completely genuine meeting, I think there's something wrong with these boys. Oh? Please have a look. Over at the classroom. Could it be that Yukari Sakaki is being surrounded by all those bullies like always? Oh, sorry, got him. Could it be that Yukari Sakaki is being surrounded by all those bullies like always? No. Yukari-chan stayed home today. She got a cold today, so she's absent. The cold is prevalent in the class, so taking an absence wasn't unexpected, rather it was practical. This is also neither above nor below the norm. Was Higanbana supposed to see something in this classroom with his favorite tormentee, Yukari Sakaki, missing? She looked to where Marie was pointing with intrigue. flap. Flap, flap, flap. By the curtains, they were relentlessly, violently kicking. The bullies were all gathered in one corner and kept kicking without uttering a word. It wasn't an uncommon sight to see the boys so playfully beating on something in place of a punching bag. But what they were expecting wasn't playful. Hate, frustration, anger. Hate, frustration, anger. Wordlessly turning those emotions into violence, they struck the curtains. This sucks! Lame. Okay, so it's the other students that was saying that. Normally they would be teasing Yukari Sakaki and playing pranks on her at the disc. But today she was absent. So they couldn't do that. They were grumbling out loud. It was as if they were grumbling because Yukari Sakaki went ahead and took the day off without asking them for permission first. God damn, these people have... I agree with Marie. They seriously have some problems. Seriously, this pisses me off. My head's gonna explode if I don't get to pound that Sakaki! And that girl, what, she got a cold? Seriously? Bullshit. When she's not here, it's so annoying. It's like the most annoying thing ever. Holy fuck. They say something like she had to go to the hospital, and she might not come anymore. It's like, she should hurry up and come back so we can mess with her, you know? I'm gonna freaking die of boredom. Fucking Sakaki.
Stupid Sakaki. You stink just as Utopia. Fuck.
While everyone's saying just disappear, the lamenting boys pounded inconsistently that Sakaki wasn't there. They took turns kicking the bunched over curtains in the frustration over and over again. It's almost as if bullying is their drug and they're all addicts. Okay, you guys. I know this is super, super early, but I don't know. I'm feeling I'm feeling a bit tired today, and I don't want you guys to go through with me at half a tank of gas here. So I think I'm gonna call it quits a bit early today. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry it's a bit short, but yeah. You can see that I'm reading a bit slow here. And I really am interested. I'm just feeling stupid tiredness. You guys are so awesome, seriously. Thank you so much for joining me. We will continue this on Saturday, and on Thursday we go back to Ever 17. I can barely think. Oh my god. No, I am enjoying it. It's just that I'm feeling tired. I really want to do more, and I've been trying to push myself, but I just can't keep up. And jeez. I hate this tired feeling. Thank you guys so much for understanding. Seriously, we're going to continue this chapter next time. So until then, I will say, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. You are all the sweetest of hearts. See ya.